Good.
400 or 500 people.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
I'm going to turn my volume down. I'm hearing me at your place. So
Let me, it's the speaker, I think. Let me turn it off. Mindy, can you talk real quick? Okay, I need to get Billy real quick. 1 second.
Oh, there you are.
Billy! I need help with the speaker real quick. That one speaker is getting like and
hey, Lynn.
this is typical on my calls that people know I am not skilled in the technical department.
Yeah, welcome to my world.
Hold on. We good? Mindy, talk real quick.
Hi. Hi, Billy.
No, that's good.
Loud and clear here.
Okay.
All right, I'll just try to turn this down. Is it working now?
Hello, hello, hello.
Great. Hold on, we're switching to headphones. Set in love. You guys are all muted, don't worry. No, I know you guys can see and hear us. I was just talking to the comments people. All right, speak.
Hello, hello.
Mindy, can you talk real quick?
Hello, hello. Hello,
I still
hello.
can't hear him.
I can hear Tony.
I can hear you, Mindy.
We can hear each other.
Yep. And Lindsay, I can hear you too.
Oh, and I can hear Lindsay too. I think she can't hear us.
Yeah. You know what? She can turn that speaker back on. And I can easily deal with that. That's fine. Lindsay,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
All right, we're doing it on the laptop.
Yeah, well, I had to go to laptop too. My computer decided not to cooperate at all. I had people at Beachbody IT trying to figure it out. And, and we just said, I'll do it on the laptop, man. So it's all good. Mindy, where are you?
I'm from Michigan.
Oh, you're in Michigan now?
Yeah, I'm in Upper Michigan.
This is a good lesson in coaching, though. If something fails, you keep going until you figure it out.
That's right.
That's right.
Hold on.
Problems are only the first step to solutions.
That's right.
I just made that up. It's probably not the first time that's been said, though.
Anything yet? Back.
Hello, hello.
Test, 1, 2.
All right, I should be in the meeting. Jeez. We walk away. Turn that leave that computer.
Oh, good. We get a tour of the house.
Oh my god.
This is great.
I love
Sounds like crib.
Decorate. Looks terrific.
Oh. Oh, she's froze.
Mm.
I think they're both frozen.
Okay, so
Oh, there she is.
it's doing all kinds of crazy reverb. Are you good?
Yeah, you're not frozen anymore.
You're a little digitized, but
Gosh. Why would it be doing that? Any better?
I think if you just sit still, like, and it wasn't moving, I think that's why.
might be.
Are we good?
Okay,
You can
let's
hear
see.
us though, right?
Yeah, so
Lindsay?
you're just a little unclear, but I mean, you look great. Your blowout's amazing.
So.
Nope, you're frozen. You're
I'm
frozen. Okay,
Yeah.
now you're good. But
Really?
I'd be nervous to host it if it's freezing like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're okay
this
now.
This is better.
You're okay now.
Okay, I'm just wondering why it's so echoey. I'm having Billy sing. If you close that out, babe, I'll close the call then.
Oh, really?
Right. Yeah. Mindy, I'm going to send you. Dang it, why did I do that? All right.
I feel like this is working, but I bet you it's echoey on your end at your house.
Which is fine. If you guys don't hear an echo, it's totally fine.
I don't hear anything. You sound good, and you got a lovely purple hue there to your right. It's awesome.
Okay. Well, let's just roll with it. So, sorry, guys. And this is not the first time this has happened to them. P.S. I think we had something crazy like this happen last week. Not this extent. But I wanted to have Tony come on to be able to share with you guys about a new program that he has coming out. And for those of you who know this man, which I'm pretty sure all of you do, I think he changed more of our lives than any other trainer out there, in my personal opinion. And I know for me personally, like, I would not be living the life I am living today had I not stumbled across randomly an infomercial for P90X back in 2009 after I had my daughter London. And it not only taught me what I was capable of physically, but it changed my life and just the way that I approach life in general. And that was just to beat my own personal best, to get a little bit better every single day. And I remember, Tony, doing your DVD for the very first time, and I was so pumped. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be so ripped in like 3 weeks. And I barely got through the warm-up and was on the floor dying. And it took literally 4 attempts of starting and quitting before I actually succeeded with it. And I changed my mindset of me comparing myself to the other people in the program to, you know what, I'm just gonna do what I can today, and then the next time I do this DVD, I'm gonna go a few minutes longer. And then the next time I do this DVD, I'm gonna go a few minutes longer. And by doing that, imperfectly enough, I was in the best shape of my life postpartum, even before I had a baby, after that 90 days. And then I applied the same thing to my business. I just got a little bit better every single day, and I stopped judging and being so hard on myself and just focused on getting a little bit better. And, 7.5 years later, we have this amazing life because of that concept and because of the way that program helped change the way that I thought. So I absolutely love you, and I have met you many times in person, and I can tell you, and Mindy would agree, you are one of the most genuine, just awesome people that I've ever come across. So I know we all appreciate you being here. So anyway, tell us a little bit about Double Time, what it's all about, why this is different from anything you've ever done before.
Well, first off, thank you for sharing your story, because I don't think I've ever heard it before. I had no idea that I was the tipping point to your early stages of being fit and healthy and wealthy and everything else. So that's awesome. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. The one kind of amazing thing about Beachbody and working with Carl is that, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that I've had a history of, being in this business for 35 years. I've done a lot of personal development, right? And if you look at what Beachbody coaching is, it's really an interesting mix of, helping other people, which is altruistic, which allows you to be more selfless and less selfish. And and it's what makes the world go around, because you're making connections to people and around the country, around the world that you never would, you know. So anyway, again, thank you for sharing your story. You know, the one thing I want to say about double time is, you know, it's the first thing that Beachbody has ever done like this. You know, it's the first full-on all partner workout. You literally cannot do this routine with by yourself, you know what I mean? So it requires a certain obligation to somebody else. It could be your child, it could be your spouse, it could be your neighbor, it could be your coworker. It doesn't matter who it is. But you know what I would tell people right out of the box is, oh, you've disappeared, but hopefully you can hear me. One thing I would tell people right out of the box is that, you know, this thing launches on November 1st. And so I would start hunting down your partner now. You know, I mean, just say, hey, look, kids, do you want to do this with me? Or, you know, turn to your husband and say, this thing is 30 days, you know what I mean? And I think what's unique about it is it's something that families can do. Carl wanted to design this product solely for the purpose of creating a better connection within the family dynamic, you know, because so often I'm sitting right now, there's a laptop, there's a computer, there's a phone, and I'm usually buried into this stuff as much as anybody else. So it's just, you know, for 35 minutes or less, it's just an opportunity to be able to sort of work with somebody else. And so there's three things that kind of stand out when you think about double time. Number one, there's a partnership thing there, right, dynamic there, and that means there's an accountability factor. And we've looked at all the studies about people who work out with somebody as opposed to people who work out alone, and the success rate goes through the roof when you've got a partner. When you've got, I mean, it's true when people are trying to quit smoking or people are trying to lose weight. It's as simple as finding an accountability partner, and quite often that person is in your own home, or they're at work, or they're down the block, or who knows where they are. But that's really, really critical. I think the other thing too is beyond the connection, the accountability is there's a connection that improves as a result of doing it with somebody else. You know, I mean, I went through, you know, this test group with folks. A lot of them were in the actual DVDs, and my buddy Scott Morgan's in it, and his relationship with his teenage daughter improved immensely.
Wow.
He said it's really the first thing that they were able to do together. And, you know, when your daughter is 16, she wants to be with her friends. She thinks your parents are crazy, you know, whatever. I know that I was the same way when I was a kid. And so he just said, hey, look, I'd love to do this with you. It'd be really cool. And I think we have this great experience. And they don't look at each other the same way anymore. They've really learned a lot about each other. And so there was another couple. One was fit, one wasn't, a husband-wife team. And he learned how to be humble, and he learned how to be a good listener, and he learned how not to be her coach pointing fingers on how she should be doing things a certain way. And we talk about that in the workouts. We talk about that in all of them, saying, you're not a drill sergeant, you're not their therapist, you're not their techniques coach, you're their husband, or you're the wife, or you're a father, you know, working with your child, encouraging your child. You know, I'm not to turn this into a workout that's also got, you know, part psychology too, but it's just teaching people to be gentle with each other, teaching people to train with love, teaching people how to, you know, make this fun, you know. And so that's really the third dynamic of this, I think, which is pretty unique. And, you know, if you own P90X, obviously, as you know, I'm doing pterodactyls, backing out of trouble, or don't smash your face, or, you know, stuff that I said just, you know, it just popped out of my head or on T-shirts now, you know. So, but, you know, Carl said, I want you to turn that fun factor up to an 11. And he was there every day at the shoots, and I thought I was being pretty crazy, pretty silly. And he said he'd come out and go, nope, nuttier, crazier, goofier, sillier, you know, wackier. And so we don't think it distracts from the workouts, but the purpose here is to change people's mindsets about what exercise is. And it's not this torturous thing that you feel like you have to show up for every day. It's this thing where if the fun factor is really high, you're still moving in multiple planes, you know, you're squatting and you're doing, you know, burpees, but it's done with this really playful energy throughout on all the workouts. So I think that's really, really unique. I think the fact that they're only 35 minutes says a lot, that people can make the time for them, right? But it's really about, you know, building stronger relationships, providing accountability with your partners, and creating a long-term healthy habits. And when you've got a partner, you've got that accountability, you've got that fun factor, you look forward to it. For example, you know, during the test group, a lot of times in test groups, and you can ask Shalene or Autumn or Sagi or anybody, is that people start to not show up anymore.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean? Like, oh, this fitness thing's harder than I thought it was going to be. You know, I thought for sure I would just, you know, show up in a week and I'd be down 15 pounds and I'd be eating vegan, and that wouldn't be any issues. But it's not easy to keep people in the room, you know. And so we know we're doing our job when we hear people, you know, they're outside waiting for the doors to open up 45 minutes before the class, you know what I mean? And that they were really, really looking forward to the experience. And one of the test groups was early in the morning. I mean, you know, people were getting up all over the city of LA, you know, driving through traffic in this crazy town to be able to show up early for the test group. So when we shot the workouts, we wanted to transcend that same vibe to all the coaches, all the fans, all the customers who are willing to participate in this very unique opportunity, which is something we call Double Time, which is, you know, the name is apropos because it tells you that it's not one person, it's two. Some other basic facts that I think people should know if they want to know more. There are 6 workouts total, and on BOD there are 2 bonus. So I think that's really kind of unique and kind of awesome. Just trying to get more people to be on BOD. You know, I've got this Fitness Fusion group on right now. It's about 8,500 people, and you know, people from all around the world. A lot of them don't have BOD, so they're, you know, they're gathering all their DVDs together to see if they can get through the whole 30 days from October 2nd to the 31st. But there's a lot of talk and anticipation about Double Time. People are really excited about it, especially people with kids. You know, it's pretty much 8 years and up. You know, and our test group had people in their 70s. So from 8 to 70 plus, it's pretty much for everybody. And of course, the modifiers there. That's my middle name. You know, I think I was created the modifier because you know, as a kid, my experience was much like yours before you started P90X. Not good at hard stuff. You know what I mean? Like, wow, I got to get down, I got to get up, I got to lift pull-ups. What? You know what I mean? So I was very fortunate in college that I had this coach that was just a really cool guy and really made the whole process fun. And he said, hey, don't, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. Just kind of track your progress and show up. And when you do those 2 things at the end of the semester, you're going to be a different guy. And that's exactly what happened. And that's what this is about. This is a 30-day process with a partner, having fun, accountability's there, and creating greater connections.
You know what's awesome is my daughter that I had when I started P90X is now 8 years old. And so I was like at Summit watching the video, and a month before that I had posted just a teaser on Facebook. I didn't know about Double Time, just about doing a group with my daughter and co-leading it with her and being with other moms and their kids to be able to have it be more of a family-oriented thing. And I saw that thing, I was like, oh, you know, you guys did the work for me.
Yeah, great. Yeah, because the last thing I did was Tony and the kids, and I was much younger then without a beard. So now we're what I really look like. Thank you. But you know, what else? Of course, the quick start guide is in there. It's, you know, just whatever the basics. It's really simple, really easy. You look over that and you kind of know what you need to do for the next 30 days. There's an eating plan. The eating plan obviously involves daily sunshine for people who want to bring that into the fray for their kids. You know, I mean, Carl and his lovely wife worked really hard at trying to create just, you know, organic ingredients so the kids aren't eating, you know, all the garbage that sometimes they get addicted to. And trust me, I know that's how I started the first 30 years of my life, right? So, and then there's a 30-day calendar just to kind of, you know, check the boxes, see how you're doing, making sure that you get them all in. And then there's a BOD exclusive. There's a bunch of recipes on there that are exclusively for people who are participating in Double Time. You know, just get more and more people to BOD because, you know, that is the future. If you look at Beachbody, even 12 months ago, it was 60% people on DVDs and about 40 on BOD, and it's completely flipped in that period of time. And before you know it, it'll be 80-20. And then, you know, you're going to take your DVD player and bring it down to the end of your driveway and try to sell it for $6, you know, or on eBay as an antique. It'll end up in the Smithsonian, you know. So that's where we want people to go. So there are these little extra bonuses when you have BOD. And that's really, you know, that's kind of it, I think. One more thing, too, that I want to add, if you want to know more about it, you can check it out. There's a little sneak peek on BOD. It's called Game On. It's a cardio workout, and I think it's one of the most fun routines of all. And I think it runs between the weekend of the 14th and 15th of October. So today's the 9th. So just mark your calendars, you know, go check it out. It's, you know, I think once people see Game On, they'll be addicted. One more thing I can add too is, and I've done this at both my Super Saturdays in Phoenix and in Salt Lake City. There's a number that, you know, if you guys want to jot this down, if you're listening in, it's 210-610-1234. Now, this is exclusive to coaches. I created it. It had nothing to do with Beachbody, but it's all about double time. And it's 10 pages of documents. So they can help you with challenge packs, can help you with talking about it, you know, and it's really simple, really easy. So if you want to just text double time to 210-610-1234.
Awesome. No,
yeah.
And I just appreciate it because I think that our generation really has to step it up and get our kids involved. And I think that a lot of coaches do, but to have something that you can hand over now, you know, like daily and stuff and everything that's certified for that it's okay for kids. They're not going to be hurt in the workouts that are not necessarily meant for them. I think it's going to allow us to be able to touch a lot more lives. So you guys can make it really fun by involving your kids and getting, if you have kids, getting them involved with it, doing little workout videos that you guys do typically alone. I think it makes it, for me, a lot more accountability personally, just knowing that my daughter's watching and that she's a part of it with me. And I'm actually going to have her co-lead my challenge group alongside me.
Oh, wow.
You know, doing double time to show us doing it together and how fun, like you said, bonding it can be to do something like that with, because we all bond together as coaches because we have this commonality, because we're going through this transformation together. And I think that you're going to have that much more of a bond than if you can establish it. If you have kids that are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, establish that now before they go hormone crazy and get into the teen years, you'll have a lot better hold. And I know Mindy has an 8-year-old as well. So thank you for, you know, taking that and running with it, because I know that I definitely appreciate it as well as so many other parents out there. But you guys, sneak peek is this weekend, right? It comes out this weekend.
The sneak peek again for everybody is October 14th to the 15th, and it's called Game On. And you just, you know, get right there in BOD and play. And one other thing too, I think as far as you don't need any equipment. Honestly, you just need a pretty small, excuse me, a pretty small space. And when you actually get the program, you get what we call the Beachbody Buddy Ball. It's basically a dodgeball, and we prefer that you don't use it for those purposes. You know what I mean? It's not like, okay, here it is. We're not going to do that. We're just going to throw the ball at each other, see who can hit each other in the head. No, but it's just a really lightweight, simple ball. It's really grabby, so because there's a lot of transition from partner to partner to grab the ball, and there are, you know, I think at leadership, we're going to have the balls. We're going to bring hundreds of balls. I can't wait to watch those things flying around, man.
Just don't know what hit it.
But yeah, you know, you just want to get the fancy stuff off the shelves and things, you know, beware, the thing can't fly around. But that's all you need. You just need, you know, a good space, and you need a ball. And if you don't even have the Beachbody Buddy ball, you just use a soccer ball or a basketball or, you know, whatever you want, something, you know, no bigger than this really. And that's it. We really wanted to make it a no-brainer, super fun. You know, have that accountability factor in there, you know, making sure you're accountable to your partner, and really building support for one another, learning how to communicate with each other, negotiating these moves, because sometimes one person's doing one thing, somebody else is doing something altogether. And other times, you know, you're actually having to exchange that ball, moving in opposite directions, moving toward each other. And it's what the reason why our test group had such great results is because they were focusing so much on helping their partner and helping each other, you know, doing it in a supportive way, not in a coaching kind of way, like, hey, you know, you got to do better than this. Is that they weren't just thinking about the move itself. Their partner was almost a distraction, so that they would, you know, go a little bit lower, jump a little bit higher, and push a little bit more. And it became, you know, some folks, you know, some couples, it became sort of this fun competitive thing too, you know, like I can do more reps than you, or I can go lower than you in the squat or wherever it was, you know what I mean? And so, and last but not least, I would just say that the movements are there's a lot of unique moves. I mean, you know, if you look at it, how can you reinvent the push-up or the pull-up or the squat or the lunge? I mean, I worked really long and hard with Stephanie Saunders to just come up with really unique, fun, different kind of movements that had total body muscle recruitment, so that a resistance routine felt like a cardio routine, that felt like a core routine, that felt like a mobility routine, you know, so that these things are all happening at once, you know, like how an athlete would move, but how a kid would move, how, you know, go chase a 3-year-old around the house. You know that feeling, right? Where it's just like, holy smokes, it'd be like you couldn't keep up with a child for 35 minutes. And it's all contained in these really awesome 6 workouts. So we're excited.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on. I apologize for a technical delay, but we made it rock out. I think it worked. So
thank you. You should have seen the 30 minutes before I got on. You see how calm and awesome it looks here. There was chaos everywhere. Can't get online. What? This link isn't working. Calling Beachbody IT. And now I just looking like, yeah.
Now I look like the jerk. But hey guys, seriously, you should know this happens. Crazy stuff goes down, but you work it out, right?
Yeah, right. We found a solution, and everybody got the information. You and I worked together to give, your coaches and everybody in your downline the information they need.
Can they hashtag double time, or what are we going to do when we're posting our sneak peek videos and pictures and things like that? Do you guys know what they're planning to?
Golly, now you've gotten past my. But I can tell you, if you go to the 210, 610, 1, 2, 3, 4 number and you put in double time. I mean, we sat down for 2 days coming up with, and this is just my digital guys. I contacted everybody at Beachbody and I said, hey, what can I just add my 2 cents? Cause I've been living, eating and breathing this thing since the get-go. There's some inside information that I think people will have that anybody who's not a coach will never see, unfortunately for them, but any coach that's willing to learn, just about everything, it's all there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tony. We will see you. We'll be posting our sneak peeks and stuff.
Yes. I'm excited.
See you at Leadership.
You got it.
All right, Mindy Wender. So that
Can
was
you hear
fun.
me? That was so fun. That was so fun. Once we got it working, it went great.
I think you ended up muting me on my other computer and it ended up taking away the reverb. I thought I muted that. Anyway. Oh, gosh. Seriously. This has kind of been my life over the last couple of weeks. Just like, hey, take it or leave it. This is the best I got right now. Anyway, I won't spend a ton of time. I briefed them on your amazingness prior to the call, but 15-star. How many now? Elite times 5, 6?
5.
Okay. You are 15-star diamond, millionaire, club, pretty much every stat that you can possibly be in Beachbody. And you've done that while being a mom of 3. I've seen you have, well, other than Lane, I've seen you have 2 kids. So you've gone through pregnancy multiple times with being a coach and running your business. And obviously we have a lot of people that have to do that same thing, but you've maintained and evolved over the years. And I think that's what's so impressive. And as we were talking about what you would cover, we talked about we've had to reinvent, and we've all gone through phases where we create all these massive trainings, and like you and I, we kind of like the queens of training with all these different groups and stuff. And just how it's kind of come to the point where we need to get back to the core basics of, we started around the same time. So where we started and why we started and what we did when we were first started. So if you want to run with it, I will sit back and listen and take notes.
Yes. Oh my gosh. First of all, thank you so much, Lindsay. Lindsay and I are great friends. For those of you who don't know, we talk business all the time. We go to Disney all the time together. I just respect her so much, not just as a entrepreneur, because I do see her as, I don't really see Lindsay as a coach. Like, she's an entrepreneur, like she's a business woman. And I respect her in that aspect, but I also respect her as a wife, a mom, a leader to you guys. So you guys are like so lucky that you have this real deal leader, and she's not just like okay in one area of life. Do you guys feel like, I don't know, I feel like I love following people who are good, not the best. They don't need to be perfect, because I hate perfect, but they're like so on in so many areas of their life. They're not just focused about getting to the top, or they're not just focused about, you know what I mean? Just like trying to be good in all areas and balancing it all. And that is not hard. That is not easy to do, and Lindsay does that. And so that's why I just love her to death. I'm so excited to speak with you guys tonight, because I respect all you guys too, like the bombshells. I'm like honored to be here, you guys. So tonight I didn't prepare slides at all. I just want to talk. Like, I feel like I'm obsessed with Snapchat right now, and I feel like this is going to be like a Snapchat rant of mine if you follow me on there. I just want to be really real and raw and share struggles I've had, and then also share with you, obviously, what's working, because I want you guys to have takeaways. So for those of you who don't know my story, thank you for that introduction, Lindsay, but I just want to take you back, because I know there's always a bunch of new coaches. There's probably like a ton of you added even today. So I want to just share a little bit about my story so you can kind of see where I'm coming from. 8 years ago, I've been a coach for 8 years. And 8 years ago when I joined, I was working 50 hours a week. I was a brand new mom. I was an extreme introvert, super shy, like you guys, awkwardly shy. Like if I was in a group of friends, like I was fine. But if the attention was turned on me and they were like, tell us the story, I'd be like, my face would turn red. I'd start sweating. I was awkward. And not that I'm not awkward anymore, but I'm just saying I was like to the extreme of shyness. Okay. And we were broke. We were on state assistance. I was living less than paycheck to paycheck. And I had no plans of how I was going to change that situation, of course, until coaching came. So I'll spare you all the details because I know a lot of you know my story, and a lot of you were at Summit and heard a lot of my story. But what inspired me to start coaching wasn't just the money. And so as I tell these things that I'm going to tell you, like this little rant that I'm going to do, I'm going to point out things that are super important. So I didn't join just for the money. And I know that you just heard me say I was broke. Why did I join? What inspired me and what intrigued me about this business was not like I was never called, God put me on earth to be a network marketer. It wasn't like that. Like not at all. I was never an overachiever in my life. Nothing like that. I wanted something more. I wanted something different. I was so sick and tired of missing my son Lane, who was a brand new, I think he was 8 months old when I joined as a coach. So like the whole 8 months that I'm here working overtime, right? I was just so sick of missing. The first time he crawled, I missed. I was sick of missing these things. And I said, I want something different. I want something more. So what did I do? I didn't say, oh, I need to get a new job and I need to make money. That would have been smart, but that's not what I did. I went back to, I thought to myself, when was the last time I was positive? When was the last time I felt good about myself? When was, I started thinking back to those things, and it was when I was doing Turbo Jam. So Turbo Jam was my first program. It was the first thing I ever did in health and fitness that I actually liked and that I actually stuck to and I actually saw results in. It inspired me to read books on nutrition, which started my hippie-ness. And I started to really like almost be obsessed with taking care of me and health and fitness. So then that's when I learned about coaching. It's because I had a strong passion for the company and for the products. I wasn't joining without even knowing what the products were. Not that that's wrong, because that isn't wrong. But I had a strong passion for what this company was about. And I believed with every ounce of my body, I believed in these products, 100%. So as I'm growing as a coach, I started to do certain things and it wasn't like, just don't get it twisted, I wasn't like diamond in 90 days and I wasn't like this rock star right out of the gate. Not at all, because I was very insecure. I had no belief within myself. I believed in these products and the business and stuff, but I had no belief in myself. So I took a lot of personal development. You guys hear me breadcrumbing these clues of success, because success does leave clues. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do for you. So I believed in the products, right? I was using the products, leading by example. And that's what inspired me to join. Okay. And so where was I going with that point? This is what happens when you have 3 kids. You have brain fog. So anyway, so I started doing things to work on myself through personal development, through reading books and surrounding myself with the right people, the right crowd, right? So it took a little bit. I had to grow myself so I would believe in myself. I already believed in the products. Now I wanted to believe in myself. So once I started doing this, and then I was like, I started to get my confidence up enough to where I was like, okay, Janelle, I'm so sick of this. Like, tell me what to frickin' do and I'm going to do it. And so before I was just like dabbling and I had a toe in. Raise your hand if you feel like right now you just have one toe in and you could be doing more. You could have both feet in. You could be more all into this, saying, I'm going to do it. Failure is not an option. I'm going for it, right? Because at that time in my business, I wasn't like that. My first 3 months was not like that. I had a toe in and I was dabbling. And dabbling does not get you anywhere. Dabbling I shouldn't say it doesn't get you anywhere, but what I believe, and I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to be really real and raw. What I believe, you're either moving forwards or you're moving backwards. That's what I believe. And if you're not doing the very minimum in this business, the very minimum, if you're not doing that, you're not just at a standstill. You're actually moving backwards. So I was making zero progress, just dabbling. So that's when I said, you know what? This isn't about me. This isn't about how hard I have to work. This isn't about all that. This is about me having a strong why. This is about me believing in this opportunity, in the mission of this company, which is to end the trend of obesity, which is to help other people, as many people as I possibly can, live healthy and fulfilling lives, whatever that is for them. Yes, I want to do it myself, but I want to share that with others. And I wanted to be present with my family. I wanted to have freedom. It was never about the money for me. It wasn't about so I can buy this or that. Dude, I'm from a small town. I'm like, Lindsay knows me. I'm like the most simple person ever. It's not like I need all this stuff. You know, it wasn't about that. It was about the life that I could provide for myself, for my husband, for my family, my children, so I could actually have more kids. That's what it was about. The why. My why was so deep, and it wasn't just about the me stuff. That pushed me. That woke me up every single morning early. That woke me up at 3 a.m. sometimes to check my emails. Dude, it wasn't. So I want you to write this down. It's not always or ever about the what. It's about the why. Because guess what? Problems are going to come up. They're going to come up. You're going to have bumps in the road. You're going to have highs and you're going to have lows. And if you don't have a strong why and you don't believe in what we're doing here and what Lindsay's doing, what Carl Deipler's doing, what this means and what this could mean for you and your own why, if you don't have that, then it's going to be really hard to stick it out. But why am I here 8 years? And I think Lindsay's been 7 or 8 years as well. Like I think she started a year after me. Why are we still here? And why do you see us? Like we could put up our feet right now and just enjoy life. Why do you see us like as hustling? We are hustling. You know what I mean? Sure, we take vacations and all these things that, you know, we work hard and we want to take breaks. But I don't know about, actually I do know about Lindsay. I guarantee we both work on vacation, and not to take away from our family. We do it on our own time. We wake up before, during nap times or whatever. We find ways to fit it in because we don't feel like this is work. This is what we love. This is what we're passionate about. Okay? So you have to have a strong why. And if you do, and if you believe in this, you are a lifer. I am a lifer. Lindsay Matway is a lifer. A lot of you on this call, you guys are lifers. And that's what it takes to push to the next level and to the next level and to the next level. Even when problems come up and there's bumps in the road and whatever happens, you will learn, you will adapt, and you will grow because you freaking believe in this and nothing will get in your way. That is the type of belief that you need to have, and you probably already have it in you. You just have to get to know it. You have to let it out. You have to realize what you have in front of you. You have $1 million opportunity in front of you. And Lindsay probably tells you guys this. Well, I know she tells you guys this all the time. We're nothing special. Like, sure, we're all special and we believe in that. Like God created us all to have enormous potential and to thrive in life. And I believe that. But like, if you're comparing yourself to me or to Lindsay or to anybody else who you see in the top 10 or the, you know, on stage at Summit, dude, we all have the same opportunity. This business is the best business ever because it does not play favorites. Lindsay's from Florida. I'm from a small town in Michigan. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're from a small town or a big city. It doesn't matter if you're blonde or a brunette. It doesn't matter. All that stuff doesn't matter. What matters is your why and your belief and your passion. That's what matters. So I'm going to quickly share with you how I went from doing the basics in my business. What got me to where I am today, if I stop doing what got me here, where I am today, I mean, then I'm in big trouble. And I'm going to share how I almost got myself in big trouble because I started to make it overcomplicated and training and putting my team before I put myself, putting my team over myself, which my team is super important. Like I'm obsessed with team go-getters. They're like it's like your children, but it's just like on an airplane. Whose mask do you put on first? Do you put it on your child sitting next to you, or do you put it on yourself? You put it on yourself first, so then you can take care of your child. And that's exactly how it is in this business. It's simple. And I want to keep this super simple for you guys. There's something called phase 1 and phase 2. I don't know if all people call it this, but this is just what I was taught. I don't even know who taught me this, but it's true. So I'm going to share it with you. So what I was told in the beginning of my business is, don't you ever get out of phase 1. Don't you ever get out of phase 1 and move to phase 2. I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? So phase 1 is doing your own stuff, doing the basics of the business, doing the 4 vital behaviors, or however many vital behaviors there are now, doing the vital behaviors of this business every single day, consistently until the end of time. That is phase 1. Phase 2 is when you stop doing phase 1 and just worry about phase 2, which is managing your team and working on their goals and developing training series and hosting calls and all that stuff, which all that stuff has to you can do all that, but you can't do all that until you have done your stuff first. And so what got me to where I am today and what got me to the level of success that I have today was phase 1, was the basics, which was, I'll tell you guys what I did. Back in the day, don't apply this now, because this isn't changing. And it's going to change again next year, and it's going to change again the year after that. But that's why Lindsay says, we've been doing this for like 8 years. We grow, we adapt, and we change. I hope you've written that down, because I think I said it like 3 times now. You grow, adapt, and change. And that's what makes a good leader. And by the way, it's not just Beachbody. It's business. This is business. If you read any business book, if you read or listen to any business podcast, this is what Gary Vaynerchuk is going to teach you. You grow, adapt, and change. So the first thing I would do is I would reach out to people. I would grow my network. Write that down. I would grow my network manually. There was no Facebook ads. Okay. I manually went out to Facebook groups and I looked for the people who I clicked with. I mingled in these groups and mingled on these like pages, figured out who I clicked with. When I clicked with somebody, I added them as a friend and messaged them. Okay. And I did that to like 10 people a day. And then, and that was above what average was. I think average was probably like 2 to 3, and I did 10, because that's when I told Janelle, tell me what I got to do and I'll do it. That's when I was all in, and I went like all in, like with both feet, not dabbling around, just staying in one spot. I wanted to move forward, and I wanted to move forward fast, because that means quit my job. That means paid off debt. That means get off state assistance. That means, hey, my debit card's not going to get declined at the grocery store anymore. That's why I did 10 a day. That's why I did sometimes 20 a day. That's why I presented the business more than most people at that time. So that was one thing, is I would grow my network. I would mingle with people. And as I'm mingling and we took it behind closed doors into private messages, I would invite them to either a challenge group or to learn about my business. That doesn't really sound different to what you are required to do today, right? Right. Okay. So then that's what I was doing. And I would present the business, just to let you guys know numbers. What Janelle told me to do was 5 times a week, 3 to 5 times a week. That was average. So I did 10, 15, or 20, depending on the week I had, and what my focus was. If I was focused more on like my challenge group, then I would do that. But I never, ever presented the business less than 10 times a week. Do you have to do that? No, because guess what? You're not me. You have a different why. You have different goals. You have different everything, right? Figure out what that number is for you. I figured out what it took for me to quit my job so I could be at home with Lane, and that's what I did. And I was working 50 hours a week while doing this. So excuses don't work around me at all. I was working 50 hours a week. I would get home late at night, and I would completely unplug and spend only an hour and a half to 2 hours with my son Lane before bedtime. And immediately when he went to bed, I'd get on my computer and I'd do my work. That's it. I stopped watching Jersey Shore. I stopped watching Teen Mom, or whatever these shows were that me and Brad were obsessed with. And I said, you know what? When I quit my full-time job, I'll work during the day, during nap time and before my son got up, so I can watch these shows with Brad. I told Brad, hey, I need a year. I communicated with him saying, this means a lot to me. This is going to change our lives. Give me a year. And that's what I did. So those are the things I did for my business. Presented the business, following up, tracking my progress, wash, rinse, repeat over and over and over, and hosting my challenge groups, like I said. So I had 2 buckets. I either, depending on what I would find out about you by asking questions, find out about all my peeps, and I would ask questions and I would listen. And then I'd ask more questions and I would listen. And that's when I would say, okay, what do I have? Is it a book? It might be a book. It might be a natural remedy, whatever. But business-wise, I had 2 buckets. Either I'm going to invite them to my challenge group or I'm going to invite them to my business. Challenge group or business. Keep it simple. There's no secret sauce. The only secret to this business is doing all this stuff consistently and doing it to as many people as you possibly can. Helping as many people as you possibly can with the right intentions and with passion. So then I grew my business and I started having people come to me, and I started just being able to pop up a post on Facebook or Instagram, and then people would comment, and then I would just message them and I would get coaches from that. I'm going to be really honest with you. That's what my business went to. So I maxed out my friends on Facebook, so I wasn't able to continue to add people. So I was like, oh, well, people are coming to me and they're coming to my like page and they're coming to my YouTube and my Instagram. None of these places did I have a huge following on at that time, but I built this attraction marketing where that was happening. That worked at that time. Call to action posts worked at that time for me. Then something shifted. Social media shifted. Our business shifted. Things shifted. And when things shift, and they will again and again and again, what do? You grow, you adapt. No, wait, what was it, Lindsay? Grow, adapt, and change? Who has it written down? Okay, you guys know what I was going to say.
You have to reinvent.
So, what's that?
You have to reinvent what you're doing.
Yes. So you do the same stuff, you guys. You still reach out with the right intentions to help more people, but you just do it in a different way, right? So before I was helping people by posting this and people were coming and commenting, and then I would take it behind closed doors and help them that way. Now, how am I doing it? What's working now? And it's going to change. So right now it's October 2017, I think. Let's hope so. Yeah, October 9th, 2017, in case you're watching the recording. Now what do? I'm all about stories. I'm all about the real, I love storytelling. I love being on video. That's my jam. It might not be yours, but that's my jam. So I love Snapchat as my little reality show, and it's completely different than Instagram stories. So I have to use it differently. You can snap way more than you can do on Instagram. You just can't. You could do 8 IG stories a day, but you can do depending if you're a good storyteller or not, and you have that audience that is engaging with you and likes that stuff, and you're adding value, then you could do 50 snaps. It's just people tell me all the time they rather watch my snaps than their reality TV show. Brad's a character in my snaps, and he never has talked on Snap once, but I snap him all the time, and he just stares at the camera. It's very awkward. But he's a character in my snaps on my show, right? But it's my real life. It's not really a show. It's my real life. But here's what I do. I share, I'm real. I share what's working for me. I add incredible amounts of value every single day. I will not go a day without adding value to my people. Never. So I'm adding value just if it's a supplement that I'm giving Lily, or I share a story of something that is working with Lily, or here's what I put in Lane's lunch, and here's a way to get your whatever it is, because I have a lot of moms following me. But then I put out a call to action here and there, and I do it with a story. Again, back to storytelling. So I tell a story and then I invite. And on Instagram stories, what I do is I share value, add value, and then I invite through my IG stories too. But what I also do is something that I learned from Haley Christian and Amber Lanier, that you guys probably all have seen their trainings in the Beachbody Champions page. But I just started applying that because I'm like, dude, I need to be a new coach. I need to get out of phase 2 and go back to phase 1. Because the beginning of this year, you guys, I spent the whole first part of the year creating trainings, hiring a mentor to help my people. I hired a mentor for myself to help my people. Like, tell me what I have to do for my people. Like, I did all of this stuff and I was missing the point. The point was I need to get back to putting my face mask on and doing my own stuff. So I'm leading by example. And then I can, when it works, then I can tell my team what to do. You can't tell your team to do X, Y, and Z if you're not doing it yourself, because there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect. Then when they come with questions and ask, well, this didn't happen, then I used to be able to get on the phone with my people, my coaches, and I'll be like, oh, something's not working for you. Get me on the phone. Okay, what are you doing? Tell me what you're doing. And then I would ask questions, and then we figure out what needs to be the tiny little tweak that they need to tweak. And then they change that, and then they'd see results majority of the time. I couldn't do that then. I'm not doing what new coaches do. You know, that those years that there was like that disconnect. So that's what I did after Summit. I just went back to these basics, doing what I just told you, following those trainings I just told you about. And I'll tell you, I go on my Instagram stories, people who view my stories every day, I'll shoot them a message and say, hey, Haley, thank you so much for watching my IG stories. I so appreciate it. And then I ask them a question. Same crap I was doing in 2010 when I first started this business, you know? And I felt so alive in my business. Let me tell you, I felt so alive in my business in 2010, in 2011, 2012. And that's when I was I feel like, I don't know, I just felt so alive in my business and more connected, and even more connected with my team and everything. And I feel like I have that back finally. I feel like I have it back because I'm hand selecting and building relationships. And I feel like I'm hustling every day, you know, like I feel like I got my hustle back. And guys, I really think that's the thing. That is the thing. We got to stop focusing on so much of the what and focus on why we're doing this, because then we'll figure out the what. We'll figure it out. Like the what isn't going to change. Like if you listen to a podcast or an audiobook, I'm sorry, it's called Building Your Network Marketing Business by Jim Rohn. Yes, Jim Rohn. Building Your Network Marketing Business by Jim Rohn. It's on iTunes. It's like an hour and a half long. What he says, you'll listen to it. That was like years ago that he made this. And it's the same thing, just done because you grow, adapt, and change. You change it for this. It's like Netflix. And I was just talking with Billy, Lindsay's husband, about this. And I was like, what's a really good example for people who did just what we're talking about? Well, Beachbody. Carl, like, I hope you guys are like, today, one of my things, I do this gratitude thing every morning and I literally stream down tears. That's what I snapped about this, my rant today. Streaming tears. Every time I do gratitude, I'm like, I could never do like this gratitude exercise in front of people because I'm like ugly crying every morning. But it puts me in a beautiful state. I'm in peak state, as Tony Robbins would say. And, you know, I'm one of the things I said I was grateful for today is Carl Deichler and this company. Because could you imagine if they didn't grow and adapt with the technology changes that we have? Like in a couple years, we're going to be robots. Like cars are driving themselves. Like, my goodness, are we really not going to change what we're doing? Like, of course we're going to. I feel so blessed, so incredibly blessed that I am a part of this company and that Carl is taking these chances and growing and adapting our business for us. He's doing it for us, because if we didn't, guess what? Guess where we will be? We will be a has-been, not, you know, like not grow. If you don't grow, you're not gonna be in. Like somebody else is gonna take your spot. Somebody else is gonna do that, and you're gonna miss the boat. And Billy and I were talking, like I said, and a great example, I was gonna use Henry Ford and the Ford company. He was just like very stubborn, didn't want to grow, didn't want to change, just want to do things the way that this is working. We're gonna keep doing this. His dude, I forget his name, GM, so it's probably something GM, I don't know. He created GM. Well, this dude, his partner was saying, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do that. And Henry Ford was like, no, no, no. So he quit, the dude quit and went and started GM and did all those things he wanted to do and was extreme. Obviously, you guys know the story. So the thing Billy was talking about, though, a great example is Netflix. Dude, Netflix was just mailing out videos. Like you'd order, like they would mail you the videos. Then they started to stream them online. And then now they're creating their own shows. It's like people are canceling cable for Netflix. Beachbody is the Apple of fitness. Beachbody is the Netflix of fitness. And it's because Carl is growing and adapt. And then we have to do it too. It can't just be all on Carl. All on Carl. We have to grow and change with the times. And that's what I've done throughout my business. I focus on doing my own stuff. Like on my calendar, I get up in the morning and I have my hour to myself where I do stuff. And then I invite 10 people before I do anything else. That's it. And then I have a separate time in the afternoon where it's I call it my mentorship time. That's the time that I'm going to do stuff for my team and stuff for my PS coaches. And maybe like if I have like a private little mentor group thing I'm doing, I'll focus on that. But I will not do any of that unless I have my own stuff done, because I am a leader and I need to lead by example for my team, or I'm not helping them whatsoever. So that's it, you guys. That's what I'm doing. If you guys, I would love to see if, I don't know how to do Q&A on here. I know it's difficult, but if we have questions, I would love to answer them.
I'm watching the thread. So the one question that I saw pop up was, when you reach out to people, you know, that you're trying to get to the point where you're going to invite them to a challenge group, do you lead with the fact that they're going to have to purchase the challenge pack? Do you, go with Beachbody On Demand trial? I'm guessing I know the answer, but go ahead and how do you usually go about approaching that from the standpoint of now you're asking them questions, you're getting to the point where you're going to actually invite them?
For sure. So, and I can share any screenshots too, but I basically just hey girl, thank you for watching my story, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, hey, are you a coach too? Or I say, are you into wellness too? Or, it depends, because I go and stalk them. So the questions always change. But let's just say I said, are you into health and fitness too? And they're like, this one girl goes, yeah, actually, I just started my journey recently because I have a goal to lose X amount of pounds by this date because I want to do X. I won't even tell you, but it was like to join the LAPD, actually. It was like this long thing, but to save time. So I'm like, oh my God, girl, seriously? You need to join my accountability group, because that's exactly what we do. And then I just said, me and my girls, we keep each other accountable. We set goals like this. We show up every day. We do the grind, I would love to send you some information if you're interested. She's like, oh my God, I would love that. Send me some information. And so I talked to her a little bit about coaching. Obviously in IG DMs, you can't talk a lot, which actually makes it pretty easy. So I'm just like, basically, here's the basics of it. Like, we show up in this group, or you do it on the app, whatever you guys do, and gave her the basics and how much it was. And then I go, if you just shoot me your email address, I can get it all sorted out for you and then send you an email, and then you just complete it. You just can complete it. So then I take my mobile app and whatever I do, we talked and she said the annual all access. She told me this flavor. So I sent her that email, and then all she had to do is finish the sign up. It's easy as that.
Yeah.
And then if it's about the business, if I say, if the girl looks like she's into health and fitness, I won't say, are you into health and fitness? Duh. I already know that because I'm following you. But if I go there and she's into health and fitness, are you a coach too? And if she says, no, but I've thought, a lot of times people say, no, but I've thought about it, or no, somebody's asked me that before, but I was in a bad place then. Or usually it's something like that. Or they say, no, what's coaching? I mean, it's usually a really good question, as long as you see that they're into health and fitness, to lead to the rest of it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, you guys?
I feel like it does. I don't know if they're going to get it. I think so. I feel good. With this, it's all about making it fun and cool. And you guys don't have to use the generic terms that have always been. I also think that's another way we have to evolve, is the way we use lingo. And I think that so often, and we talk about this every once in a while, that you lead and in the Beachbody community, we have this little bubble where we use challenge group and Shakeology and 21-day fix and blah, 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 all our terms, and just assume that everybody knows what the heck that is. And we have to think like an outsider and think what would attract us. And I'm always trying to put myself in the position, if I knew nothing about this, what would sort of attract me in? Because there's no lack of amount of people out there that want to get in better shape, want to feel better, want to have better energy. they're all still out there, guys. Like, it's abundance of people that need help. And it's all about how you can uniquely help them. In my opinion, each of you has to find the special thing about you. You know, with Mindy, I don't know that you mentioned this, but our daughter has autism, and she's been able to grow into this like powerhouse when it comes to taking care of your body, not only just obviously to serve her daughter, but she's been able to share her knowledge as she's learned it with other people. She's like the first reference that we go to if Maddie's sick, if we're sick, we're like, Mindy, what would you do if you had this? You know, she's become that resource because she grew so much in that area. When I met you initially, you didn't know any of this stuff, you know? So it's like, you guys have the opportunity. If you have a passion, you can go and grow in that area and become this guru that people really are drawn to, specifically because of that unique thing about you. And for me, that's always been like personal development and my faith, and it's an area that I really wanted to grow in. So let me go and take this stance of I'm going to grow immensely in this area, however long that takes me, and become known for that. Like, as I started to grow, I started to share those things with others. Like she said with her Snapchat, she comes up with the value every day. Some people are like, how do you come up with that much value? All you gotta do is personal development. Every day you find some nugget that you're like, I'm gonna share that. And I don't know, you know, Jim Rohn, she mentioned with that audio, he is like from the 1980s. And if there was one person besides Jesus that I could sit down and have, you know, lunch with, it would be Jim Rohn. And he is so relevant today, like 30, 40 years later, because that, like she said, this whole point of this is it does not change. Just the way we go and find conversation changes. That's it. The actual thing itself does not change. So it's just about evolving and growing in yourself and being able to add more and more value. You won't get as many objections if you just add a crap ton of value, because people will trust you. And at the end of the day, that's really what it's about, is that they believe you. They believe you because you show consistency. They believe you because you're constantly adding value. They believe you because they can see in your posts the way that you're growing, not only, you know, physically getting better, but mentally, spiritually, whatever. And people believe, like seeing is believing for a lot of people. So you got to show them with your actions and the way that you grow that you're worth knowing. And you've got to believe that you're worth investing into in order for that to happen. So I've seen the evolution of Mindy Wender. Sorry, my nose is so stuffed up. So do you have any stuffy nose?
Yeah, I'll message you guys later.
Thank you.
After we get off this call, I'll give you a protocol.
Thanks. You know, I've been able to see your evolution, and it's so cool to be able to see someone go from more of a shy personality to like this just powerhouse leader. And it didn't happen overnight. And so all of you guys have the potential. It's funny. Melissa McAllister, she had like a group of us in the thread, and we gave our starting photos next to our photos today, because we're like, so many people see us as we are now, but don't know what we were at the beginning of this whole thing. How like, you could just tell we lacked in confidence. You can just tell that, you know, we were just a little bit more shelled in, and it is insane. Like we had Danielle Natoni before and after, Amy Silverman before and after, Melissa McAllister before and after me, Melanie, and it's like we have all changed so much, and it was intentional, and it was very much so just this evolution of becoming who we were called to be. And so all of you guys, no matter where you're at in this, is like, I don't know where you're at in your journey. You might be at the very beginning, but let me tell you, go in that freaking cocoon and become the butterfly, because that's in you. You know, if any of you guys could be on one of these calls leading. So anyway, anything?
Yeah, and like Lindsay just said, it's already within you. It's already within you, because I've seen the same transformation with Lindsay, and it's been super fun to watch and everything. And it was already there. Like it was already there. Like I could go on, but she like wrote this thing when she was like in 8th grade, pretty much predicting her life. You know, it's like it was already within her. So it's already within you guys too. That's the point, is that you just have to work on yourself and grow it and put yourself out there, and it will come. It will come.
Yep. Call it out first and foremost, because if you don't call it out, if you don't say where you're going to be and you're specific, you won't get there. You've got to have a specific like view and vision of where you're going. And the clearer that vision becomes, the more you start to attract things that grow you into that direction. And it really is crazy to see all the things that have sort of unfolded. And I didn't know how I was going to get there. I know you probably didn't know how it was all going to unfold. You just got to take action and keep that vision. And you just somehow, it's like a navigation system gets plugged into you. And even though there's going to be many times you have to reroute, and it's going to take a little bit longer than you thought initially, the GPS said it was going to take 4 hours. Now it's going to take 16. Screw it. If your why, the thing at the end, is worth it, it doesn't really matter how long it takes. It's just the fact that I'm going there and nothing is going to stop me. When I got on this call and it was a hot mess, I didn't know how long it was going to take to fix it, but I'm going to do it until we fix it. You just figure it out. So anyway, all right. Well, I know it's 10:05 here, so I appreciate Mindy being on. I love you. Can't wait to go to Disney again. It's going to be so fun. And just thank you for pouring into our team. And we will see you guys again next Monday. See you later.
Yes, thank you so much, Linz, and see you guys.
Bye. Now I have to go to my other computer to shut this off. Be right back. Look, there's 2 of me. Bye, guys.